Bro, like boomers fucked everything up.
Yeah.
Like boomers fucked everything up, right?
Yeah.
And like, that's the thing, right? Like they just fucked everything up. Like they were just a bad, like that's fucked up. They're just like a bad generation.
It's Lil Baby.
Guys, this is episode 1. Yo, welcome to We Felt That. My name is Ihram.
Gary, what's going on?
We are doing this, bro.
Yeah, feels good. Feels nice.
Feels good. So for y'all that may know Gary and don't know me, my name is Ihram. I host another podcast called Conversations with Chai.
A great one.
Gary has been on it, and we had such a good time. And me and Gary, like Gary's the homie. And I was like, yo, fuck it. Like, let's do a podcast that like feels like us.
Yeah.
Cause like that one feels like I was telling you, it's like an interview, all of that. Mm-hmm. But I was like, yo, I see you stream and I see like the joy of just being yourself. And I was like, yo, like I just want like a platform / place where I could just
vibe out
and be me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure, bro.
So we're gonna talk some shit, but Gary, do you want to do like an intro for yourself, kind of like to my audience who may be listening right now?
My name is Gary, aka From the Soul, on all social media platforms. I've been in the content space for a while. Recently started doing short format content like Reels, TikToks, and stuff. And about a half year ago, I started streaming heavily. And just been kind of on the grind with that the last 6 months, and just finding my way through that industry and kind of trying to navigate it because it's a beast. It's a beast for sure.
Bro, Gary's a G.
Like,
I'm sure some of y'all will start doing deeper dives into Gary, and you'll come to the conclusion that Gary is a G.
Yeah, it's been a crazy ride, but fulfilling for the most part.
Bro, for sure fulfilling. You kind of like a low-key New York legend.
No, not at all. In the poker world, maybe my name is known a little bit because I've been in the scene. But for content, I don't want to get a fat head about it.
No. When I say New York legend, I don't want it to ever feel like it's like a specific to a thing. I think if you're known for anything inside of city like New York,
yeah.
I think that's pretty crazy. Think about how many people are here.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like just being known, right? But being known and being like respected and have a good name about you. I think that's like so fly.
It just, I think it's a byproduct of being very curious about a lot of different things, like club scene, poker scene, content scene. I like to dabble in a lot of different things until I find something I love. And I just happen to love all these various things. And for me, with my personality, the moment I like something, it's full send, right? And the community might seem huge in New York, but the spaces are small. And kind of what I mean by that is, it might seem broad from an outsider's point of view, but when you're in these like little pockets of communities, everybody knows everybody else, right? So it's very easy to make connections, to network, and kind of build off of that.
It's crazy because like the overlap of like people that like we know, but through very different mediums and through very different interests is so interesting to see like the cross section of that. And that's honestly like a big reason why I wanted to do this podcast is because I was like, damn, like New York has so many different cultures, but like the cross section of all those cultures is what makes New York.
Amazing. Yeah.
Right? Like the cross section of that.
There is a lot of crossover too. Like for you and I, we met, obviously at a poker game, but then come to find out we have a lot of friends in the creator space too, right? So it's like you have all these like different connections and relationships you build, and we're only 1 degree separated from everybody else, which is crazy
like,
in New York City.
Bro, I didn't even know like you had these like other content.
Yeah.
Like at first I started off like, Gary's my dealer. Or like Gary's playing poker with me, right? Yeah. I'm not even thinking about what Gary got going on the other side, right?
Yeah.
And then come to find out, Gary is a G, right? And then
I appreciate
that. Bro, okay, so we were having this conversation outside, and I figured that this is like a good place to start because you were just telling me that you were at Comic-Con.
Yeah, so I was at Comic-Con for the first time as a content creator, right? All the years past, I've gone as like strictly a fan, just trying to enjoy the culture and whatnot. But going into it this year for the first time as a content creator kind of put things in a different perspective for me, as far as like how the event works, the people that are there, and just kind of how that culture has kind of shifted a little bit.
Tell me more, because from an outside perspective, when I look at something like Comic-Con, it's not even just Comic-Con. When I think about like the Fanatics Fest, which you were also at, right?
Yeah, FanFest was great. Yeah.
When I see any of those like large scale events, like I'm looking at it as like there's the business, which is the fact that it's Fanatics Fest.
Right.
But then there's the business of the business where all of it is content. Like you got Brady next to whoever, next to whoever at Comic-Con, you got whoever next to this streamer, next to this streamer.
Yeah.
And you're seeing, as somebody who's not there, you're seeing like a lot.
Yeah. Like I think we're in a place where streamers are more welcome at a lot of these events. And it's also recommended that you get big streamers to come because that helps your internal marketing, right?
It's paid, right?
Depending, right? Some people get paid. Some people get like free badges where you get access. You don't have to pay to get in. But then some people actually get like a paycheck for attending. I don't know the numbers. Obviously, it's not my place to know a lot of these paydays for a lot of these larger creators. But I know for a fact, you know, you have all these huge creators. Like I think Speed was at FanFest, and I can't imagine him going for free. There's no way.
Any notable names at Comic-Con? I'm sure.
Comic-Con, aside from the celebrities, there were a lot of big content creators. One of my friends, Tacky, was there. He's huge, 1 million on Instagram. I think even more on TikTok. He's heavy into the anime space and that culture, and he was probably one of the largest creators there. Like just hanging out with him for a couple of minutes and seeing the mobs of people that go to him that want to make like a video with him or like take a photo with him.
That's insane.
He got mobbed.
Seeing that is insane because like, I mean, some of it is like those kids are smart. Like, yes, they're a fan of him, but they also know what to do for their brand being right next to him, right? Because they know as soon as they put a clip of his face, and that's the real interesting part because the streamer meta is a meta within a meta, right? Because like obviously like you have like the typical route, which is just like clippers clipping shit to make bread off of the clips.
Correct, yeah.
But then you got creators that are like, yo, if I get Kai Cenat on mine, well, even for a little bit, it might go.
It's a really weird space, right? You have to navigate it correctly because obviously in the streaming space right now and in the content space, everything's saturated. There's 1,000,001 people trying to be content creators and streamers, and even for myself, I'm tiny compared to some of these other people. Trying to do it organically is very difficult, right? Because the space has so many people in it, it's so saturated. It's hard for you to stand out because anything you try to do has to be super unique for you to really stand out. But the thing is, everybody's doing something. Right. So the chances of you being completely unique is very slim. So what's the next avenue? You pull on your connects, you pull on your friends and kind of see if you can, I don't want to say piggyback and cloud chase off of them, but it's never a bad idea to have somebody, you know, more well-known than you help you get that momentum, build that fan base.
Yo, and I think, so taking it away from like streaming. Just and bringing it to like events and just content in general. I think that's what makes that part of it unappealing because that so much of that is, I'm sure, going on.
It's very transactional.
Like you feel that, sure. So talk about like being at Comic-Con. Like you see that, right? Like you feel that. Like the guy, like the kids mobbing
Tacky,
the kids mobbing Tacky, right? Like the kids mobbing like Kai anytime or Speed anytime, right? Like some of it is like, I'm sure fandom, but most of it is probably like, yo, kind of like, let me get this click.
I think it's a little different when you talk about like people like Kai and Speed, because they're not going to sit and do a TikTok with you. Tacky is a very unique individual in the sense that he is just, if you ever meet him, you'll understand what I'm saying. He's very joyful, right? So if anybody's ever seen his content, who he is on camera is exactly who he is in person. The guy has never once been weird about following, never been weird about, you know, how much clout you have. If you want to do a video, he's down to do a video. Like he's not gatekeepy like that. And when you have large creators with a huge following, that's a big deal for them. They refuse to do things with smaller creators because it doesn't benefit them whatsoever. And I don't think Tacky.
And you're giving them like a huge shot.
You're giving them a boost. Obviously, you know, let's say, you know, somebody has 1,000 followers. You do a video with Tacky happens to post it, or somebody along that line happens to post it. You have exposure now to millions of people, right? So even if 10% cross over, that's 100,000 people. And
like, and if you're one of these bigger streamers, you charge for that.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
That is like the game that they're in, right?
Because
like,
they know
like if I'm just doing this for free, then it's not that valuable, right?
Their fan base is their currency.
Exactly. And my inventory, like that was the first time that I recently I had a mentor that referred to her Instagram and everything as inventory.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's interesting. But when you really think about it, it is, right? Yeah. It's like every single post, every single story, every single whatever, every single stream has a expected value that diminishes with more volume.
Correct.
Right? Because again, like the reason a Super Bowl ad is a Super Bowl ad is because there's a finite amount and people are willing to pay that amount.
Right. And you know you have dedicated viewers watching that specific event.
Thing. So if you're a streamer and you know you have access to 5 million people, there's only 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
They're maximizing it. That's why streamer money is so different.
Right.
You're maximizing the amount of time and posts and product placements and things you can do because you're on at all times.
Well, let's use Kai as an example, right? He had, I think at its peak, a few 100,000 people watching during the subathon. Mm-hmm. Those were Super Bowl numbers. So you know how much money people are paying to have a 30-second Super Bowl ad. Now imagine you have that concurrent with Kai's numbers. He can charge Super Bowl prices because he has that many viewers.
He is charging Super Bowl prices.
Oh, easily.
I'm sure.
I mean, he's getting the bag for sure. I mean, between subs, ad revenue, and now sponsorships, if he has any, I don't know if he does. But I can only imagine if you were to want to promote something on Kai's stream with 6 figures of people watching, you're going to be paying. You're going to be paying for sure.
Bro, you have to think about it. Like the biggest, like we're talking about like LeBron.
Yeah.
Like people are like, that's who's sitting with Kai, right? Like
for free too.
Like for free. Like because Bron know what to do for his brand. Yeah. Like his brand. Because there's probably people and kids that know who Kai Cenat is, but that don't know who LeBron James is. Yeah. As crazy as that sounds.
I sound old.
Huh?
That sounds old. Yeah.
As crazy as that sounds. There's some youngins right now that do not give a fuck, but know who Kai Cenat is.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, he appeals to a certain audience, a younger demographic for the most part. Like all these big streamers, right? Like I think if you go down the list of the top 5 biggest streamers in the world, their demographic is probably 21 and under at best, if even 21.
I mean, you have to think about like who runs the internet. I was thinking about this because like obviously like, you know, being in content and like think about it. That's honestly why I took a break like for a month. Like I'm sure like you've noticed that like no pause, no nothing, right?
Yeah.
Because I got so tired of like, I had to remind myself like what the internet was, right? The internet is like a young, because sometimes I see things on the internet, it's like very discouraging, right? It's like, damn, like, is this really like what we're like propping up?
Yeah, this is our lane now.
This made me sound old as fuck, right? But like, is this what we propping up? But then I got to remember, like, yo, the internet is dominated by young people.
The streaming world, at least. I think the internet is very fleshed out, but the streaming world for sure, kids.
I disagree.
Really?
I think now, I think that the people that I think young people are rejecting social media.
You think so? Why is that?
I mean, statistically, kind of. I think a report just came out that was like it was the first time that social media user base hadn't grown. Because so when you think about it, right, like the internet, like we grew up from like not having internet to having full internet, and like at the speed that we have it at now, right?
Insane, yeah.
But we also were the first generation to ever have that plus social media, and now we have had it long enough where people are in adulthood. Now there's like case studies. Now there's real science behind the impacts of what this does to you.
Yeah.
So young people that see that, it's like cigarette smoking to them. They're like, yo, are we really about to do this? Like you're going to see, I think like a reverse back to analog. I think it's like the same rejection that you're seeing of like AI.
Yeah.
You're going to continue to see because it's like, they want to stay away from that because I think that they are forewarned. We're the ones that got addicted to the dope.
I think a lot of the negative impact of the internet, so to speak, comes from what you're seeing, right? And it's what's being pushed to you. And it's all these big streamers, these big YouTubers doing like this brain rot content. And there's only so much of that you can digest before you're just like, all right, this is terrible. I don't want to watch any more of the same, rinse and repeat type of content. And, being on the content side, I can tell you for a fact that these people find an avenue that works for them, helps them gain this audience, and you have no choice but to roll with it because at the end of the day, the whole game is to just grow your audience, grow your exposure, right? And if this brain rot content that you might not even yourself like making creates that type of, fan base for you, you just have to keep rolling with it. And that just kind of feeds into the cycle.
Yo, you're speaking to the choir, man.
I know.
That's a big reason. So I looked around and I was like, yo, is this really what I want to participate in?
Yeah.
Like that's really how I felt. I was like, is this really what I want to participate in? Like I see the game, I know what it is. Like anytime I see some bullshit on the internet, I'm like, damn, I could have been a part of that bullshit. I see it now. I see opportunities all around me.
You know
right?
what? And it's very viable if you want to pop off, right? Bro. It's the best way to go viral. But it's like you have to look at yourself like, is that the type of content you want to make?
That's when I'm like, I'm so mad that my frontal lobe is now developed, right? Yeah. Because I'm like, damn, like a younger me would have pulled the trigger. I see certain things on the internet and I was like, yo, I could just throw myself in the mix here.
Yeah.
And I could like, listen, when I throw myself in the mix there, right? Like, but again, it just feels so corny to do it.
Yeah.
Like,
because we're at that age.
Huh?
We're at that age
where
it's
so corny, right? Like for me, it's not internet beef. Like for me, it's like if I go outside and like it's uncomfortable for everybody involved. Like if we have like real issues, right? Yeah. So I just like, why even do that, right? Like I enjoy walking around with like my karma good and like like being able to walk around in spaces and feel like good energy, right?
I think for me, when I first started content creating in the streaming space, I had to make a conscious decision to not draw in the wrong crowd, right? So I could have done the brain rot, the real like cringy content, and I had a better chance popping off with that than the type of content I make now. But the problem with that is the moment you develop that fan base, they're only ever going to be here for that specific type of content. And then you're forced to do it nonstop. And it's like, I know for me and my personality, I can't sustain that. At all.
I'm so glad that we are in sync right now because that is exactly, I had to think about like who I make this for, right? Like who I do this for, right? Like who am I trying to talk to?
Right.
And again, like you're talking about like the people that you want to talk to. Like there's, like, you know how to get everybody else.
Also who you want to become too as a content creator.
I was like, yo, like there's a lot of things that, again, like we could do that are like easy finesses.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about, I was like, yo, like I want like the people that like fuck with me to really fuck with me. And I want to fuck with them.
Right.
Like, I wanted to feel like, yo, like even if there's not 100,000 of y'all, let's say there's 10,000 of y'all, it's real. Like we connect on like something like deeper and we connect on something like that. I think is why I wanted to do a more intentional approach with like even this platform, right? I was like, yo, like I want to like, I don't want to like cater to, like I want to just be and
just be you and whoever's here.
Whoever's here is here, right?
Yeah, and I think that was a big thing for me when I first started streaming. I'd rather have a slower growth rate rather than doing some crazy shit to try to go viral because I know that I want to be able to connect with the community. And I don't want a community of people expecting me to do some wild shit all the time because my personality, where I am in life, how old I am, I can't do wild shit. I'm not going into a Target to prank some grandmother. You know what I mean? Like I'm not subway surfing. Like that's not my shit. Like I can't do it. And it's not who I am as a person, right? So it's,
that feels nuts. Like, that like
but again, it's a thing.
I had to ask. I'm like, damn. Like when I'm like 30s, 40s with kids and potting, because I really want to do this for a long time.
Yeah.
So when I think about that, I'm like, yo, am I really going to be 40 and just talking about other, like, is that really the pod that I want to have, right?
Yeah.
Like, no, right? Like, I want to build it. I want to be a different type of person at 40, right? Like,
I think for me, one of the biggest things was I wanted to build a community where anytime I was streaming and you popped up in my chat, I wanted to know that you had a chill place to relax for a couple hours, relax, interact with everybody else, interact with me, and not have to worry about, am I going to get attacked by the community because I said something wrong? Am I going to get, slandered because, my opinion is X and excuse me, your opinion is Y, right? And that was big for me, like a safe space for everybody versus some of these other creators, they have such aggressive communities. The moment you say something wrong, they're going to come after you. They're going to come after you hard,
that
too.
streamer should come hard. Like, I got to be on at all times. So you got to be on at all times. What do you think? You're going to continue to go to, like, Comic-Con? Like, what did you feel?
Comic-Con was a very good time. I'll be honest. Even though I was there content creating, I still got a lot of time to enjoy it and really kind of dive into the culture, right? I did a couple of videos. They did well. They performed well. But aside from that, I got to experience the con itself, which is important to me. Like, I don't want it to feel just like work all the time. I wanted to enjoy the con because I had been there in the past and it's always been like a very fun space for me. And this year was no different. If anything, this year was probably better than the last couple of years in my eyes. Even though I was working, I had a really good time, like surprisingly.
I could not. I'd be in the crib. I'm like, yo, if I like going out that many people, like just like that type of stuff.
It was packed.
It was a lot. I'm sure. I had a very strong feeling towards this. So it came out like, I guess DMX's uncle did some interview and then basically said that he had called like Swizz, called the Rough Riders, and then nobody ended up paying for DMX's funeral. And then Kanye apparently allegedly came out and paid for it. And I wanted to take the conversation away from Swizz and X because who knows their relationship. Like
exactly. You don't know what's happening behind the scenes.
They made music like 20 plus years ago. Like I don't know, right? Like I'm not like, that's not the part. But what I was thinking about was like, so I don't know how it is in like other cultures, right? But in like Bengali culture, there's no concept of like Godfather, right? I don't think any South Asian thing has like a sense of like a godfather, right? It was just like an understanding that like somebody would step up.
Yeah, correct.
Right? Like I knew, like you know what I'm saying? Like I knew without it being said, like that if God forbid anything had happened to my parents, right? Like my uncle like would have stepped up.
Correct,
my dad like kind of made that clear.
But there's no like literal title.
There's no literal title, right? And sorry, the reason I was thinking about the Swizz and X thing in that respect, right, is I was like, damn, do we have an obligation? Maybe it's also because I'm on my like 6th rewatch of The Sopranos. I'm like, do we have an obligation to stand up and do that for somebody that we made a lot of paper with, or we're in the trenches with, right?
Yeah.
Like, or like, is there a responsibility there if you have it to pay for that funeral? I'm taking it off of like Swizz and X, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking like, yo, like. It's tough to take it off of them because it's like I'm saying like it has to be like your man's, right? Like you can't just be like somebody. Who knows?
Okay, assuming they didn't have any sort of falling out and there's no bad blood, to have that type of relationship with somebody and to, like you said, go through the trenches and really come up with them. I don't know. Nobody's ever obligated to do anything, right? You are a human. You're you're able to do what you want in your own life. It's your conscious decision. But I think at some point, where does the loyalty lie? Right? Like, you have more than enough money to pay for a funeral. What makes you feel like you can't do it is my question. Like, is there something behind the scenes that happened? I know for me, if like I was in Swizz's position, right, and a close friend, assuming they're still close friends when he was passing, passed away, I wouldn't even have to be asked. Like, this would be automatic.
How many people though are automatic for you? Because like I get like, okay, so like I may be misquoting, but like maybe I think I got the quote right. But they said that when he called, this is the uncle quoted saying, they said, "Yo, we don't have that."
How much was the funeral? $6 million? Like, it's a funeral.
I don't know. I don't know funeral prices. I don't know.
Yeah, it couldn't have been crazy.
I don't know. Let's just say, okay, imagine it was like 40 G's, 50 G's, 100.
All right, not to pocket watch, but even if it was 100,000, you're telling me nobody that DMX came up with, that group of people could put together 100? That seems crazy to me.
I don't know. Like, I honestly don't know. And again, like, we don't know the whatever, right? But I thought about it. I was like, damn, like, I would assume and I would hope that, like, especially like, because you're saying that it's not an obligation, right?
It's not. It's never.
But I think that there's certain agreements that we get into with like people, whether it be friends, whether it's family, where it kind of is an obligation because we are in that type of agreement.
Yeah, like
we are in that type of understanding.
The relationship ties run that deep that even though it's not an obligation on paper, it should feel an obligation just based out of pure loyalty.
Again, I think about like, like for example, like my sister, like whatever, right? Like that's like honestly would be like an obligation. It's like not like really like a question, right? Like, and I'm sure I know she feel the same way, right? Because there's been spots where she's just like, yo, like that's my brother. Of course, I gotta
easy
ride for that, right?
Yeah.
And it made me sad though because I was like, damn, like I would hope that like somebody in there stood up, like even as a straight, like as a G, as a man, right? Just saying like, yo, like I'm gonna take care of it. I mean, I guess Kanye did, which is crazy.
I mean, Kanye's coming out with some decent takes lately. Apparently, like a lot of the crazy stuff that he was ranting about is actually factual now.
Bro, everybody say you're crazy. He's not like...
We're in a weird space right now.
Bro, what's the quote? It's like, yo, I'm never wrong. I'm just always early, bro.
Yeah.
Like, bro, no, I mean... So I guess like off of the conversation about X, right? Like I was just thinking about like how many people that we have like seen elevate that lose like their shine almost.
Yeah.
Just being in the space for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like off of, this is completely unrelated, but I was like somebody else like that I felt like is like losing their shine right now, right? Like Timbaland just launched a AI artist and he had his first music video with said AI artist. Mm-hmm. I'll show it to you later. And obviously because of the rejection of like AI slap, people were like, yo, fuck that noise. And I was like, for Timbaland at this point in his life, at this career trajectory, does that make sense for you to delve into this? Like you can make great music.
Yeah. I think he might be seeing the writing on the wall, seeing that AI can't be fought at this point. Like it's coming, right?
Do you believe that?
I have a lot of friends that work in the AI space. And from the conversations I've had with them and the little bit of researching that I did reading online and stuff, I think it's inevitable. I don't know how elaborate it's going to get in our lifetime, but you have to think about technology, right? Where we were in the 1950s versus where we are now, leaps and bounds.
So I agree with like commerce, finance, other shit, right? But what I've changed my mind on, I think more recently, is thinking that AI creations are gonna outperform or outdo, I guess, like human-made creation, meaning human-made film, human-made music, I think human-made art is going to be the thing that is unable to be taken over because there's an end consumer that decides, I want this to be human.
Right, because then there are a lot of people out there, consumer-wise, that want an organic feel, like something true with a human touch, right? But then on the flip side, you also have to understand there are a lot of people out there waiting in the wings for AI to come out because to them, that's the pinnacle of perfection. AI is literally perfect in whatever box you put it in, right?
I think that, I don't know, like I don't think so because I still think about the humanity aspect of it, right? Because I think about like, we don't want to see, like, as much as we think we do, we don't want to see like LeBron never go through struggles. We didn't want to see him just win every fucking game because he was the GOAT, right?
Right.
Like, we wanted to see him struggle, rebuild, all of that, right? I think that that's the humanity of things that people are still going to crave that I don't think can be perfected. Like the imperfection of it is so what makes it intriguing.
I don't think we're ever going to see AI take over the sports space per se, but the media space, they have a very good foot in the door. Like the media space, music, television, movies, they have a very easy opening to come in and execute versus sports where there are a lot more variables, right? It's a performance-based, it's human-based. I don't think we're that too far away. I think we're very close to AI popping off.
I don't know. I think that like there's going to be, for me, there's always going to be a desire for humanity, right? 'Cause I think about even like the difference between like animation and like filmmaking. There's some people that don't even fuck with animation like that, right? That want to see real actors and real 100%. All of that, right? Because the stories are, so when I think about that, I'm like, that level of taste will probably, because think about for yourself. Let me ask you, like we talked about like getting the audience that we want, right? What about being the audience that you want, right? Like, are you going to consume that?
Right.
Probably not.
I think if you look at it from a broader perspective, our generation is obviously going to feel the way you feel, right? Because I'm in line with how you feel about, you know, having a human touch with everything. But you have to understand there are kids being born now that are going to be raised in the AI world. Like this is all they know.
I feel like I got hope for humanity. I used to be like I really used to be like a cynic, right? But now I like really feel that young people will right the ship. Like I think about bro, like boomers fucked everything up.
Yeah.
Like boomers fucked everything up, right?
Yeah.
And like that's the thing, right? Like they just fucked everything up. Like they were just a bad, like that's fucked up. There's just like a bad generation.
That's
right?
a whole different podcast about economics.
Yeah, there's just a bad generation, right? But again, like I think that everybody like post millennial, like I really have hope for some of them. Some of them.
I do too, but I think AI is inevitable. At what degree, I don't know. Obviously, I'm not a professional in that space, but I think it's just a matter of time before it slowly starts taking over everything. I don't know if it's this generation, next generation, whatever the case may be. I think at some point in the next 60 to 100 years, they're going to have a huge monopoly on how our day-to-day lives are lived. And I don't know if that's a scary thing. I don't know if that's good for a lot of people, but I just know that it's probably going to or I think it's probably going to happen.
Gary, do you still gamble?
Nah. I mean, yes and no. I'm big into, so I pivoted a lot of my poker playing energy into sports and TCG cards.
Okay.
It is a gamble because obviously when you open a pack of cards, you're chasing, you know, that big card that's worth a lot of money. In some ways, in a lot of ways, it's gambling, but no poker, just sports card collecting and TCG card, Pokemon card collecting.
Talk me through that because I know that is huge too, right? Is that still huge? Because I know at one point, like, Logan Paul was like pulling like $1 million cards and shit like that. Yes. Is it still massive?
It's insane right now. And there are people out there that treat it as if it was stocks, and rightfully so. So the Pokemon market is incredible right now in just the space of collecting and the space of investing. So there are a lot of different avenues for which you can get into the market. Obviously, the true collectors that people where you find nostalgia, people are going to collect just because they grew up on this stuff, right? But then you have people that collect boxes from like the 1990s onto the early 2000s, and they keep them sealed, unopened with the wrapper on them.
Yeah.
And they're worth a shit ton of money. Like, for instance, Pokemon first edition base set is going for, I want to say, over or close to $500,000 for a sealed first edition unopened box.
People are like bulk investing in these too, right?
People are buying these out just to have them on the shelf and keep them in a warehouse or whatever, and letting them grow in price and then selling them at the high.
Bro, I'm in this like random ass Discord that does like random cash outs for things.
Yeah.
And they're always cashing Pokemon sets out.
Yeah. I mean,
like they're like, if you can get your hands on it, like we'll immediately cash you out.
Yeah. And then there's like a whole sub community on the card collecting, right? Like pulling that big card isn't enough anymore. Like there are grading companies that grade cards and put them into these like plastic slabs. And depending on the grade of the card, the condition of the card, the value either increases or decreases. So now you're playing this crazy game where you're trying to not only pull that card, but you also have to make sure that when you pull that card, the machines at the factories cut it in a certain way where the card is perfect, so you can send it off to grading and hopefully get that PSA 10 or that BGS 10 where it increases the value 6 times, 5 times.
Yeah, that is insane.
It's wild.
Yo, how much money do you think is in that? Because like if you're talking about like some of these are going for $500,000, like there's like not an infinite amount of cards, but there's a lot of fucking cards out there. I mean,
if you look at sports and TCG, Pokemon specifically as a whole, the two markets combined are $1 billion businesses easily. And not even the card and the value of the cards themselves, but all the verticals of it, right? Like the people making the cards, the people selling the cards, the people grading the cards, the people that make content from the cards. It's multi-billions in this industry. It's insane. It's insane.
It's so crazy that I think like it's fucked up. Like, cause I think like normies, right? Like don't understand how all these things be going on in like the background of things.
Yeah.
Right? Like, me included, like there's ignorance about so many niches where you realize like how much is actually in that niche.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, to the common person, right, the normie, they see grown men collecting pictures of on cardboard of other grown men playing a sport, or on the flip side, grown men collecting pictures of Pokemon characters, and it sounds like very. It sounds stupid, right? Just if you break it down to the bare bones, like, bro, you're collecting pictures of cartoon characters. And yes, but if you think about it, what is art? Art is essentially painted cartoons on a canvas, and you equate that to millions and millions of dollars.
I mean, some of that shit is money laundering.
Yeah, but I'm saying, well, a lot of it's money laundering, right?
Some of that shit is money
there's
laundering.
no way there's no tax fraud there somewhere.
There's a lot of laundering going on through those art pieces. There's probably a lot of laundering going on through the Pokemon cards too, to be honest. It's anything that has liquidity, right?
For sure. And I think the fact that so many people have built careers and very stable careers where they're financially very profitable just shows you how strong the community is right now for the cards. The bubble's going to burst eventually, but like any sort of business, there's going to be an ebb and flow, right? The bubble's going to burst, take a couple of years to rebound, but when it rebounds, how hard is it going to come back? It's crazy.
So it's so sick,
but
right?
It's fun
like,
though.
Huh?
It's fun. If you get into it, it's very fun.
Just like pulling? Have you pulled like anything sick?
I think my biggest pull to date was a Wemby rookie card.
Okay.
When I pulled it, the card raw, we call it raw if it's not graded, right? So the card raw was worth about $5,000.
Okay.
The card in a PSA 10, which is a perfect score from the grading company PSA, was worth $14,000. Here's the thing, and this is one of the downsides of the card market. You're at the complete mercy of these card producing companies. And so that card was pulled from Topps. Mm-hmm. The card was worth 14. I got it graded. I held on to it because in my mind, I'm like, okay, this has an opportunity at being one of those Steph Curry, LeBron rookie cards where if I wait 10 years, 15 years, whatever the case may be, the card can be worth 6 figures and above. Fast forward 2 months down the line. Wemby's so hot, the company recognized that Wemby sells out immediately. Topps, the company that made the cards, released a special Wemby only set. And they chose to use the same photo from the card I pulled in the new set.
Crushed the market.
Destroyed it. So that card in a PSA 10 went from $14,000 to $3,000. Literally destroyed the card. Now, obviously,
you think you up on pulls?
What do you mean?
In terms of buying the cards?
It really depends on where you sit in the market, right? Like how you want to target it and where you feel like you want to be profitable. The best way to be profitable is obviously to buy the individual card instead of trying to pull it and grade it because there's so many steps, so many variables. Buying a card that's worth $1,000 versus trying to open packs, you could open $10,000 worth of packs and never pull that card. And God forbid you do pull the card and the card is messed up, you can never get a 10. right? So there are a lot of different ways. As a gambler or a former gambler, my instinct is to want to pull the card. I need that dopamine high. But as somebody who's financially understanding of how the market works, the smarter play obviously is to buy that $1,000 card and call it a day.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
That people can. It's so fun though, because like I think that's. It's fucked up because like I think about like what people give like a bad connotation to using like the word market, right?
Yeah.
But like when you think about the concept of a market, it's so beautiful because it allows everyone to participate. In every type of way. Where I think about like sports betting a lot, right? Like obviously like I'm like an active like better, right? Like I'm like damn, like there's so much. There's an industry within that industry. There's $1 billion industry under sports gambling.
Well,
sports gambling is a $1 billion industry, but then there's a sub-market of like content. Like
there are sports gambler content creators, right? So it's kind of crazy. Off of sports gambling, there is a connection between sports gambling and sports cards, right? So unlike Pokemon and TCG, where the value is set by the market, set by the consumer, the sports world, the value is essentially set by the rarity of the card and how the player performs. So for you, obviously, as a sports bettor, if a player performs up to par and they hit certain metrics, over-unders, whatever the case may be, you win the bet. Player performs well, card goes up. Just the natural flow of things. Player performs badly, card absolutely tanks.
And I'm sure that there's somebody that is trading based off of their knowledge of sports in the card market.
100%. 100%.
I'm sure that there's people that are sharp there where they see a undervalued player and find an edge there. Like I think about it, like I'm reading this book by like Michael Lewis. It's called like Going Infinite. It's about like the Sam Bankman-Fried or whatever. And the guy worked at like Jane Street. And they were talking about how like the Jane Street like employees, I mean, these are traders that are making like a lot of money. The interns were encouraged to gamble. They were encouraged to take bets because but the company set like on the floor, and the company set like a max stop loss at $100 a day per intern. To make sure that they were
nobody
gambling,
goes crazy.
but it stays safe, right? And because it was constantly training them to look for edge in every little thing.
You have to, because if you're going to put your money up in a gamble, quote unquote, right? You have to make sure you're as knowledgeable with the player as possible, right? You have to know the ins and outs of everything, their performance, who they're playing against, this, that, and the third, because otherwise you might as well just go play roulette, right? Like you have to have some way to find an edge.
It's so interesting talking to like normies when it comes to like investing and stuff. Because like, again, like the typical American is told to invest in like S&P, right? Things that are just like weighted because like it's like simple, right? Most Americans probably don't want to think about that. And they're just like, all right, fuck it, autopilot, right?
It's a very like non-conscious decision. We just put it in and just hope it grows.
And historically, America has shown you that it will grow, right? So that's never to take away from like the idea of like a 401k.
No, 100%,
like that, right? But I'm like, damn, some of y'all are sharp and could not. You think it's a gamble, right? But if you're investing in the stock market, that is also a gamble, right? But you're sharp in this other thing, right? I have friends that have great musical ears. I'm like, yo, you know that there's a market that will set a price on what you think that this song will do in terms of numbers. Like you can invest in like the royalty of the song. Right. If you think that you have an edge and not think you have an ear. Make some bread off of that.
There's a reason why people like us aren't multimillionaires in the stock market, but then you have a select elite group of people that are multimillionaires consistently because they know how to read the market.
And that's what I always try to explain. I'm like, yo, you realize that like as you guys, they tell you to invest in the stock market, but as you do it for your like 8%, there's motherfuckers that are just ripping your eyes out through every trade because you're passive. And again, that's what was told to most Americans, right? Like you're kind of seeing it now in terms of like the housing market. It's like, yo, most people were told like, yo, go buy a house. Now
you're cooked.
Who are you going to sell all this inventory to? That's what people are not talking. Like, I mean, people are talking about it, right? People think like, oh, like these, like, oh, like there's a scarcity, right? Who are you going to sell this shit to?
I think the difference between sports card investing versus like real life investing is you have much more skin in the game when it comes to sports, in the sense that you are able to prospect, kind of dictate certain markets versus, let's say, the housing market. You're at the whims of whatever the economy is deciding, right? Like you have no say unless you have billions of dollars where you can actively affect the market. you are kind of just flowing with wherever the market takes you. Hopefully you get in early or get out early. Whereas in sports cards, a big thing for sports cards is chasing rookies, right? Like prospect and seeing how they might perform, right? So like I'll use last year as an example. Matas Buzelis from the Bulls. People are buying him like crazy because he is a high performer. He has the potential to be XYZ in the future. People are buying his cards because they want his rookie cards. Obviously, those are going to sell the best. But with that being said, you also have control on which players you want to buy, right?
It's essentially like a futures market.
Very much a futures market.
It's a futures market, right? Like I think that's the most accurate. I think I just saw a tweet where it's like Polymarket is like 95% like accurate now in terms of like setting a market.
Yeah.
It's like the most accurate thing in like ever set. And people aren't talking about it. I'm like, yo, like the future, because you have to think there's millions and billions of dollars being set on exactly what is right. So you have multiple people trying to take any level of edge and find that price point,
right,
where you really reach a market equilibrium, right? That's where my econ nerd shit comes out, right? Where I'm like, yo, that's insane.
Very econ sounding.
Huh? Very, bro, like I didn't learn shit in econ except for that, right? Like that the market is infinite, bro. But I think that's what's insane because it's like the futures market, I think Polymarket coming to the US, I'm like, wow, we are at some level leveraging every single thing.
Everything.
We are leveraging every single thing. Like that's what like is insane to me to watch, right? Because I'm like, it really is people taking bets on people taking bets that people taking bets that are other people taking bets.
There are an insane amount of verticals in everything where you can get your foot in the door with in any capacity that you want to, which is kind of crazy.
Crazy, right?
Yeah,
like you get like elections.
Anything. Yeah.
Anything.
I think I read somewhere you can kind of gamble on the weather now.
Yes.
Yeah, that's insane to me.
Insane.
That's insane.
Oh, there's the Polymarket published. So the price probability of aliens being disclosed in 2025 is now at 5%.
It's crazy that we're saying it's going to be disclosed and not whether or not they're real.
Yeah. It's disclosure, right? Like
I think it's disclosure at this point.
You saw there's a Netflix or there is a documentary with not Ricky Rubio, the NBA
Ricky
player,
Rubio,
Marco Rubio,
NBA talk.
I know, Marco Rubio saying that there's aliens that monitor like nuclear space.
So I don't know how many people
believe
know.
in aliens?
I am a big believer.
Okay, me too.
I deep dive a lot of conspiracy theories every night, bro. I'm on Mall World. I'm on Agartha, what's behind the ice wall in Antarctica. I'm on aliens.
Oh, you're deep.
I'm deep in it.
Oh, I'm I'm deep into it, but I'm like from Twitter.
Yeah.
And then out towards like Tucker Carlson.
No, I'm on different podcasts. I'm on Reddit threads. I'm on TikTok. I deep dive all of it because I find it very interesting, right? Like how much of it is true, I don't know, but a lot of it is plausible, right? Flat Earth theory, probably not real, but the whole elaboration of it, the giant ice wall, what's behind it, this, that, and the third, stuff like that very much intrigues me.
I get it because I'm like that too because I'm like, yo, at everything, there's a little bit of truth in all of it.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of bullshit on all of it. And I'm not even saying like on the conspiracy though.
Yeah.
I think about like history.
Yeah.
I'm like, a lot of history.
Vatican.
Little bit of truth.
Yeah.
Little bit of bullshit.
Speaking of history, think about it this way. History and current day, all the knowledge that we're able to digest, where does it come from? Media, right? Like things of that nature where we have to read it or watch it. What if somebody's controlling that and everything that we know is purely tailor-made for us to believe that?
Yo, full circle. And this is why like the conversation with like AI and like content and then like even like repurposing like clips.
Mm-hmm.
Today I got by it, right? I saw that somebody just captioned it like, yo, Moses the jeweler gets set up for like 240K, right? And like I see Moses the jeweler. It's not AI. I see Moses the jeweler like freaking out, all of that, right?
Yeah.
So I click into the little TikTok search thing, and then I'm like, oh, the way that the clip was clipped gave no context, but this was a April Fool's joke that Moses the jeweler pulled on another jeweler.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, like that is how that's what we really killed. I know the internet gave information, but it also kind of killed information, right?
But because let's say you didn't do your research and you didn't look further into the clip and you were just a common consumer, you would have been like, oh shit, he got. right? And I think that's one of the downsides of social media and clipping and things of that nature. The narrative is very easily skewed. It is what they want you to believe it is. And watching it as a casual, you wouldn't know any better.
And I think that's what is so fucked up, that like we took the casual consumer of like media and content and just basically over inundated them with so much that now they're just like, yo, fuck it. Like none of it, like I'm not even gonna pay attention to any of it.
Yeah.
Like that's what you see. Like, cause sometimes like me and my girl are at the crib and then like, you know, she's also very deep into it. I'm like super deep into it. So then when we step outside and we're just having regular day-to-day conversations, unless you find somebody just as equally as deep into it, you realize like, oh, y'all don't even see all the fucked up shit that is going on. Like they pull in it over your heads right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sometimes me and my girl are like, should we just stop looking behind the wall? Right?
Well, I mean, I think it's better that you keep doing it, right? Because then you're going to be super robotic and just believe whatever is put in front of you. And it takes a lot for people, especially in this day and age where people are very like instant, like everybody's ADHD and attention span is like within 2 seconds. If the video doesn't appeal, it's gone. So how many people are really sitting down and doing their research on a clip, right? You don't have time to do that, but you need to do that on certain like viral clips just to see what the actual context is behind the clip. Otherwise, you're just going to believe what the narrative is.
What do you think about that from the streamer content side of it? Because like we were talking about it a little off mic, but what's to stop somebody to just repurpose you? Like, how do you fight against that?
You can't.
Like, what if you're the one who's getting repurposed?
You can't.
Huh?
You can't. I mean,
imagine like you say like a line that's part of like a much longer story, right? And somebody just take the line, put some shit under it, and say, "Yo, Gary said this," and then a majority of people will never look into Gary actually say this. How do you fight against that?
If it becomes a problem to the point where your character is in question and it might affect you either business or personal wise, you have to just obviously refer back to the clip, show the entire whole segment, and speak on it on a brief video and address it accordingly. Otherwise, there's no way of stopping anybody because the content.
But here's the thing: maybe a bunch of those people don't see the.
That's the risk you take as a content creator. That is the risk you
take at all times.
You're at the mercy of these clippers because the point of these clippers obviously is to go viral, right? Because that's where the monetization is. They go viral, they get the clicks, they get the views, they get the money from the back end of it. The best way to go viral is to put some edgy shit out where it's like it looks shocking, it looks like somebody is put in a position where they're uncomfortable, whatever the case may be, like real rage baity. And those clips get the most clicks, unfortunately.
But the cool thing is about these like communities and people who build real communities in a real way, like the other clippers will come out and defend you and put out some counter propaganda towards you, right? Like honestly, that's how politics is being done now too. Like I know we're talking about like clipping and like streamers and shit like that, but that's literally like even the politics thing, right? Like I know like people were talking about like, yo, it like Israel propaganda and how that's being like sold, right? Like we know the price. It's like everybody time somebody comments, they know that it's $7,000, right? Because you're seeing it. You're seeing like it's all paid media. It's all paid advertising, right? So like, but if you have clippers in your community that are gonna go to war for you, off the free,
and that's where you have a really good foundation built. And you know these people are loyal to you and they've digested your real content before, so they know these clips aren't necessarily what the truth is.
Bro, and think about it. That's like, I know we're talking, again, like from internet just to like real life, right?
Yeah.
That's how the world works.
Yeah.
You know, there's a bunch of people out there that might throw dirt on anybody's name, right?
Yeah, unfortunately.
But the whole point and the whole reason you do what you do and move around the way that you move around is so that the other people can be like, nah, we not jacking that. Like Gary's the homie, or like how's the homie? Like, and I think that enough internet, again, we were talking about it at the very top of this, enough internet education wasn't done for our generation growing up that I'm sure that I hope that they are doing more so now.
I think research aside, right? Like people looking into certain clips, a lot of these larger content creators have built such a loyal fan base that once these like stupid clips pop up where the narrative's completely skewed, they already know it's bullshit. Like you don't even have to defend yourself because the majority of your community, the largest portion of them don't believe the clip, right? Because they were there watching it live.
And then the other portion is like, who gives a fuck?
It just fizzles out. It's like, all right, it's viral, but you didn't see the 10 seconds before that, right? And I think that's one of the biggest upsides of having a community that's really dedicated to you and invested in you doing well.
Yo, that's how, so this is random off topic, right?
Yeah.
But so I kind of felt that way. So like I actually the New Yorker's page hit me up because
that's fire.
I posted, so right before our first podcast, right? the New Yorkers. Remember I was telling you how I did that clip where like I was like, yo, like a lot of businesses in the city are like money laundering operations or gambling funds, right? And I felt comfortable saying it, which is why I said it and I put it out, right? Because I'm like, people are like I don't look at that as snitching, right? Like if you're from the community, you know that goes on, and you know what time it is. You know what time it is, and you know that other people and the cops know what time it is too, right? Yeah. So, and you know, I was fine. And then the New Yorkers page asked me after our pod, yo, could we repost this? So they reposted it. Yeah. And when I tell you, I was not ready. I was not ready. I was like, because again, like you don't know that I'm from, because you don't know me. Yeah. You don't know that I'm like from this community and I'm participating in this community and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I was trying to tell my girl, I was like, I don't feel like if people from the poker community saw that, I'd be cool with it. Yeah. I mean, I like clearly. Yeah. Right. So the people that it mattered to, they don't give a fuck. No. All these other people. But how do you explain that? So I literally hit the New Yorkers page. I was like, yo, I can't do it. Just take it down.
Yeah. It's crazy. I think a lot of it is centered around having like really thick skin if you're going to put content out there, because it's impossible for you to appeal to everybody and have 1,000% of people agree with you wholeheartedly. Right. And I'm seeing that as I'm more active on, have you heard of Threads? Yeah. So I'm very active on Threads. Algorithm is crazy good on Threads.
I was going to say, so you do a lot of community posting on those. I see that.
Yeah. So Threads, I'm very, very active on. The engagement rate, insane. Probably the best engagement rate out of all social media platforms right now.
Like real engagement?
Real engagement. So just to give you some analytics, I'm sitting at under 1,000 followers. In the last 30 days, I have close to 1 million engagements. Just off of that.
Under 1,000 on Threads.
Under 1,000 followers on Threads. I'm not big on Threads at all. But the engagement over 30 days has been touching close to 1 million. So it's very active. Threads, I don't know what algorithm they're using, but they're pushing your content to the front and they're rewarding you for posting more consistently. Now, with that being said, I posted something the other day about a woman out in Ohio using food stamps to make baked goods, to sell the baked goods.
I saw that.
Yeah. And the comment section.
Wait, what did you say though? I did not see that. I saw the.
So for context, the thread, I don't remember it word for word, but I think I said something like using, how did I word it? I think getting 10 years for this crime, parentheses, and it is a crime. You know, I'm not condoning it, is crazy when Diddy got 4 years for XYZ, whatever he got convicted of.
I will do it.
And then, it went like it was a wildfire. You have people coming in going, oh yeah, because Diddy got 4 years, everything else is okay. And then you have people like, where did you read this? I'm like, this is actual news. It's factual, right? I fact checked it before I posted it because I know how these internet sleuths are. But then you have people, oh, just because you read it, it's real. I'm like, okay, so now we have that side of non-believers. Then we have that side of, you know, people who think she should get 10 years. And then we have all these different communities chiming in.
So as I'm reapproaching the internet, which is what this podcast is, right? This is my re-engagement with the internet. Yeah. I think that I am going to turn this all off on mute. I think that I am so good in, I think, my like real life. And that's what really like taking some time off of like content and all of that it was real good for me, because I was like, yo, I just have to remember that I live a pretty sick, dope life. Yeah. Away from the camera.
Real life.
Right? My real life. I got real friends, and like I like literally, I think I have like a real detachment from it all, right? Because I remind myself like who the internet is made up of. Because I'm like, yo, I'm not somebody who's like that, like I'm not ever bullshit on the internet, right? So I'm like, yo, I have to have a complete detachment away from it. Because you have to remember, like, yo, most of these people, it's like, dog, you read it. Yeah. You do your research, right?
I think it's very different, right? For us, we're spending all that time content creating and putting out a good product that we believe in. And this is hours and hours of work, filming, editing, whatever the case may be. For somebody to chime in and say something nasty, it takes 10 seconds. And it's like, is it even worth it to have to deal with these psychos that are just going to comment shit posts all the time because they want to like elicit some sort of reaction from you?
It's so tough though, right? Because like I think about like the circles that we run on, like your OGs, my OGs, right? Like, they don't get this, right? Like it would be tough for me to justify. Like I think about like the people like I like really like admire and respect. Like it'd be tough for them to understand like why I content create, right? It's like such a hard thing for me to like grasp for myself, because I don't really look at it like that, right? I just don't feel like that, right? Like in certain rooms where people feel comfortable just having out like cameras and stuff, like I don't, right? Like stream, like that's a big reason I stayed away from like streaming and things like that, right? Because like I like this, right? Like I like a controlled environment. I like where you see me, right? Because like outside of a camera in my face, like that's my real life, and I want to move around like real. Like as much as real as I am on this camera, and as real as like, you know what I mean? Like we bring ourselves here.
Yeah.
You bring yourselves to your stream.
Yeah.
There's only so much of the real that you could really give without just giving it all away.
Yeah, I know. And the privacy when you're on live all the time, whether it's long format edited content or on live stream, it's non-existent. You have zero privacy, especially the larger you get. Right?
How do you manage that? Because like you like we come from the same club, we from the same schools, right? Like how do you get that? Like yo, like this is what I'm gonna do.
I don't know if you could manage it per se. I think the best way to look at it is understanding the larger you get, the more exposure you have, the less privacy you're gonna have in your life, and it's just a trade off for the fame and the money. Right. Obviously, I'm a micro creator, if you can even call it that. And my private life is still pretty private. But then you get to the point where you're large and you have hundreds of thousands of people watching you. Every aspect of your life is going to get picked apart. Yo,
it's so like I don't like the psychology, and I would love like so this is a good content idea for somebody. I would love a therapist to sit down with a streamer.
Oh God, that's gonna be
like for the therapist to like drive that conversation, right? Yeah. Because like honestly, maybe we'll do it, but because like I want to see what the effects of that are, because like it is a known thing that like when people know that they're on camera, they obviously you're cognizant of it, right? So like you act subconsciously like a little bit different.
Yeah.
But what happens when that's all the time? Like, do you disassociate from being able to switch back to like, this is my real life?
Especially if you're live streaming that often, your personality has to get skewed a little bit because you're feeding into the content. Like you want to keep it consistent and you want to keep the engagement going. So in order for you to do that, you might take little steps away from your natural personality. But then at what point do you do it consistently enough where it becomes your actual personality, right? And that's a scary, scary thought. I can tell you though, obviously being in the content world, I haven't streamed as long, but I'm friends with a lot of bigger, larger creators that have been doing it for a much longer time with a larger platform. There are a good number of people that are still exactly who they are on and off camera, which is really fun to see.
Stay real, kids.
Yeah.
Stay real, kids.
I'll give you an example. You know Nina?
Yeah.
So Nina went viral, I think over COVID for the garbage truck thing, right? When she was riding on the truck. She recently got into streaming. I think it's about a year ago. And I'm very close with her. Like I call her my little sister. Her personality on camera is the same way she is off camera. And I love seeing it because it's genuinely her. She's not putting on a mask. She's not putting on an act. Who you get to digest on Twitch, on TikTok, on Instagram is exactly who she is in person. That genuine, raw, like excited person is her, which is great. But then on the flip side, you have other larger content creators. I'm not going to name drop. You see them on camera.
It's only episode 1. Don't worry, guys.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to. I can't burn bridges. There are other content creators. And I'm not saying this negatively because obviously, you know, when you're creating content, you put on characters, not in a bad way, but it might not necessarily be who you are because that character you're putting on is more sellable than your real life character, which is fine. But Nina, never once have I felt like she was weird or anything like that. She's just been genuinely her. And other creators, because their natural personality isn't as out there, they have to put on an act when the cameras are on. Yeah. Shout out Nina. Love you.
Shout out Nina.
Yeah. She's great.
So this was episode 1. How do we feel?
I feel good. Completely off what we had scripted out, but this is like very fun.
This was good. Yeah. And I'm glad that the scripted out part. No, we good.
Yeah, we hit some touch points.
Okay, so let's go back to our little mini script. All right, so we were going to have a segment.
Yeah.
We were going to have at some point we might introduce segments. This is episode 1. Give us a break, bro.
Yeah,
like
let us flow.
Let us flow. Yeah. We got to hit our flow state for these.
Yeah.
So let's do a culture we felt. So a tweet, a song, something that you would want somebody to go read, check out. I'm not going to say like just music because I feel like people should read. Go read a tweet. Go read something fly.
I'm going to go to music.
I'm going to go to music too. But
I am big into R&B. There are artists that I listen to more often than not. Zayn happens to be one of the artists. I never thought I would ever say Zayn in a million years. You know, One Direction wasn't my cup of tea at all. But
Brown Boy legend, bro.
When he started putting out solo content, right, like on his own solo track away from One Direction, his music was very good for my personal taste. I love that type of shit. He put out a song, I think last week with a K-pop artist named Jisoo.
Okay.
Very surprised because, and none of you K-pop netizens come after me, but in the industry, she was known as the least talented person in her K-pop group, Blackpink.
Okay.
Apparently. I'm not saying it. Don't come after me because I know these netizens are crazy. Very surprised at that song. I think it's called Eyes Wide Shut, Eyes Wide Open. I forget what it's Eyes Wide something, but the song came out and it was actually a freaking banger. Like I enjoyed it a lot. So if you guys haven't heard it, go check it out. Zayn and Jisoo, Eyes Wide Open, Eyes Wide Shut, whatever it is. Great song. Very surprised at the vocals, very surprised at the lyrics, and happy seeing K-pop and I guess US British R&B, whatever you want to call it, crossover. Like it's a fun little space.
That global game is moving. Actually, I'm gonna keep it on music too. My culture vibe, culture check that I felt. There's a dude. I don't know. He's either from Belgium or he's from France. His name is Dyce. He just put out a song called Neighbors. His stuff has been coming up on my TikTok consistently, and really? I'm like, it takes a lot of those. Not a lot of those get me to go to Spotify.
Yeah.
But his stuff was so good off the bat that I was astounded. Like, first of all, like he did just the apartment life setup where it's like just him, the homies on a TikTok just doing the song. And that's how you know it's good, because the song is so hard that
nothing else matters.
Nothing else matters, right? Like, I mean, obviously, like he has his friends going crazy to it, but you could tell the energy in that room is real. Like they're not doing that shit because that shit is TikTok. They're doing that shit because the music is fire. So Dyce has Neighbors out. He has another joint called like Yeah. He might be out of France, Belgium, who knows? But like it's like, I don't even know how to describe it. It really feels like it's like a different brand of hip hop entirely, and like I'm fucking with it.
You know what I wish? We can go back to that late 90s, early 2000 R&B. We missed that.
Yo, a topic for next week. I really want to talk about why we don't get rap verses on R&B songs.
I haven't heard one in a while.
Bro, like a good like a Into You from Fab, and you're not getting those anymore, right? Huh?
Trade it all.
Bro, like you're not getting like a great like rap verse on a thing. But yo, this was We Felt That episode 1.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.